Diablo 4 can make you feel like you need a math degree to play the game. Damage multipliers can be found everywhere. The paragon board, legendary aspects, equipment affixes, passives in the skill tree, the gem system, but what does it all mean? I've completed my research and crafted a simplified understanding of Diablo 4's damage calculations. First, we need to fully understand the damage buckets. Diablo 4 has 5 damage buckets: main stat, times damage, critical strike damage, additive damage, and vulnerable damage. The damage formula in Diablo 4 works like this. Each damage bucket is multiplicative, while each multiplier within a bucket is additive. To do the most damage in Diablo 4, we must find as many sources of multipliers as possible, and fill these buckets as high as we can. Additive and multiplicative can be confusing concepts to wrap our heads around. Additive means multipliers will be simply added together before being multiplied. Multiplicative means multipliers will be compounded with each other, which may seem negligible at first. When larger multipliers are added and then multiplied together, the result is exponential. To see multipliers with more detail in-game, go to Settings and tick the box for Advanced Tooltip information under the Gameplay tab. Let's go over the different sources of multipliers by their categories. Vulnerable and critical strike damage have been made necessary, considering they have their own buckets. Without them, we lose 2 additional ways to multiply our damage, which in the late game is a major loss. Vulnerable and critical strike damage are found on weapons, rings, and amulets. Some weapon types have an inherent weapon affix that will always be vulnerable or crit damage. Weapons with an inherent vulnerable or crit damage affix also have the possibility of rolling a second affix below. Other ways to find these are skill passive like Rogue's Malice, and on the paragon board, the rare glyph Exploit, or crit damage like on Rogue's legendary node Deadly Ambush. Times % damage is also known as the global multiplier. This multiplier should not be confused with the +% multiplier. The sources of the global multiplier are from anywhere you see a time symbol next to the percentage. You'll find the global multiplier on legendary aspects or even uniques, rarely on equipment like a chest piece, and on the paragon board like on rare nodes. Plus damage can also be found on affixes like on an amulet, but mainly come from equipment affixes that use the phrasing damage with, damage verse, or damage to. +% damage is the most common form of damage multiplier in Diablo 4. Problem with this damage bucket is the fact that they are incredibly conditional and potentially impractical to get damage out of. The last bucket is the main stat. To find your main stat, hover over each of these stats until you see one that says increases skill damage. This multiplier gives us 10% skill damage for every 100 points in our main stat. Main stat can be found on any piece of equipment in the form of the main stat or all stat. Main stat is also found on the paragon board on normal nodes, magic nodes, or rare nodes. The takeaway from this video is that all damage buckets are important, and finding ways to distribute points to these buckets is essential. Some buckets are harder to fill than others, and some multipliers will be unusable or just impractical. Applying vulnerable and raising your crit chance and crit damage will help you hit the big numbers you're looking for. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck and have fun.